Hey guys, this is Matt Ranger, aka VodkaHaze for CardRunners. Today I'm going to be reviewing a four-table heads-up match at $51 PLO. I played against Sam Lang from Run It Once, also known as olangotang. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I just pronounce it with a really Texan accent. Initially, we recorded each side of the match, and we were each going to do like a series on both sides or something like that. But apparently, Sam's boss doesn't want to give free publicity for card runners through making a series against me, which over here at Card Runners, we don't give a shit about publicity, so we're just putting the match up because it's actually interesting. I guess I'll get right into it. From what I remember, I played this match a couple of weeks ago, if not more. I made a couple of river sizing mistakes. There are some other mistakes in general. And there's also the worst hand I ever played, which I think is going to be in part one. I butchered a hand just completely. It was kind of ridiculous. I played it like a 5 PLO donkey. We're going to get right into it. And let's go. Okay, so we're just firing up the tables. As you can see, I'm making jokes about being Chrome Star in the chat box and saying good luck, have fun. I'm going to get through the match really at a really fast pace because I'm doing this as a two-parter. And four-table match, we're just going to skip all the non-very interesting hands. On table 2 right here, this is 1, 2, 3, and we're going to get table 4 over here pretty fast. We're going to get an interesting hand pretty quickly. So he opens and I defend 10-9-8-3. That's pretty standard pre-flop. Before we get into the hand on table 2, I don't want to spaz around too much. I could consider checking back table 1 to call turns. It feels weak in general, but against regs, most check back ranges are not constituted. Well, they don't have enough flush draws in them. In that people mostly check back top pairs and really low flush draws. So checking back a naked king high flush draw is decent. And also because his flop check raise range, I would expect is built with a bunch of nut flush draws in it. So continuing with the second best flush draw, while kind of mandatory against a check raise, it feels gross because we're going to put a lot of money in bad on flush cards, but we're going to have to just because we're kind of near the top of our range. And it plays pretty decently as a check back. I mean, even though we don't make much pairs with king 10 3 3, we can still call turns, and we should expect almost an automatic bluff on spade rivers, and that just gives us the implied odds usually with our 20% on like a 5 of whatever turn. And we checking back also doesn't mean we just give up. We can still like credibly raise some turns. All right, on to table 2. I start by checking. I know olangotang has a reputation for being over aggressive. I didn't really watch any of his videos, and I barely played him at star 6 max. He's a deep 6 max 100 and 200 reg from what I know. And he's extremely aggressive in that from what my friends who played him told me, he 3-bets a lot, he barrels a lot, he 4-bets a lot, all of those things. So, I mean, it's good in that like it's difficult to play against, but doing that with too high a frequency is definitely a leak. And there are some ways to abuse it. And we're going to start right away doing that with table 2. In that if I expect him to c-bet a lot and barrel a lot and too wide, I mean, like top and bottom pair plus open ender plus flush draw is obviously the super nuts. Like we flopped that, we smacked that flop as hard as 10-9-8-3 can smack a flop. But check raising, it's plus EV with this hand, but he's just going to play really well against it in general. He's not going to fold higher flush draws much. He's not going to fold much better hands ever, like in terms of sets or top 2 pair or hands that can continue. And he's going to have us dominated when we make draws on the turn.